Plaintiff Matthew Connolly says he's been a professional juggler for 17 years, and he met the defendant when he was 13 years old. Matthew claims he taught the defendant how to juggle, and now they perform together. Matthew's suing because he loaned his car to the defendant and he damaged it. Defendant Andrew Lee says he appreciates the fact that Matthew took him under his wing and taught him the juggling trade. However, he denies owing him for the car because he claims he and Matthew were business partners.
Start with you.
All right. Well, Your Honor, for the last 17 years, I've made my living as a professional juggler. And then we do state fairs, county fairs, Renaissance festivals, college shows, corporate shows. And in '99, I met the defendant. We were doing a show. His mother was also working at the show, and I met him. He was just 13.
What are you saying about his mother? She was also what?
She was working out at the venue that we were working at, and so she would bring him out with her.
Got it.
Good. So he sort of ended up hanging out with us backstage. We taught him how to juggle. He was a really fun kid, and we sort of kept in touch with him for a couple years after that. When he was about to get out of high school, he didn't have much direction, so we sort of pushed him. He loved juggling, so we sort of pushed him into doing that as a career, and he's been doing that as a solo performer for the next about 10 years or so.
How does it pay?
Pretty decent. Yeah. On average, I'm not in a new tax bracket or anything.
A new tax bracket, that's right. I mean, over 25 grand a year. I'm just curious.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
yeah.
Good. All right.
Your Honor, about 3 years ago, one of the guys that I've been performing with wanted to retire, so we brought Andrew in as our third guy. I think we have some video of him, of us juggling together, if you'd like to see that.
Yes, sir.
Sure. Go.
Fire?
Yes, sir. I do trust him enough to
you're
drop fire
definitely
on my
getting
head.
more than 25 grand.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hope.
A little more juggling. I think those are machetes right there. Stuff. There we go. Yeah, he's an amazing juggler, Your Honor.
That didn't hit his head, did it? So that last one didn't hit his head, did it?
Oh, it goes right over.
Oh, okay.
So he's a phenomenal juggler, and he's just, I didn't realize when we hired him, he's just a mess in his personal life.
How?
He never has, I have no idea. He never has any money. We get paid and he's broke by Thursday over and over and over again.
How do you know?
Because he's always got no money, he's asking me for money.
Okay, he's asking you for money. That's
I mean,
how
it's little
you know.
things, no big deal.
All right.
And so there's...
How old are you?
29.
You should have grown out of that by now. I was about to say, my sons who are 25, 26, they never have any money either. Go ahead.
So there was a period where about a month and a half where we weren't booked doing any shows, and he came up with this plan to hire himself out as like a Craigslist delivery driver. He'd find little things that he'd done, doing odd jobs, delivering around town. And he used to drive around in a series of like old beat up cop cars. That's all he could afford. And then the cop car went out one time, and he needed to borrow my car to get a couple of these things done that he already had on the books.
Is this true, sir?
Yes, most all of that is true.
What you doing? You're popping off your money at the club.
No, I
buying
mean,
bottle service, 5,000 a table. All that little nonsense, huh?
I have racked up quite a Google Play account debt.
Yeah, I know that's what you young kids do.
I love it.
Young men.
Right. So it is true.
That's what my sons do. They're broke like you're broke. All you all go trying to floss at the club and give me a bottle of champagne. $500 for a bottle of champagne that you could have gotten at the store for $50. Am I right or wrong?
And then there's tip.
Right. That's ghetto fabulous. Go ahead.
So he needed to borrow my car because his cop car, as usual, was running out of steam or whatever. So I lent him my car. He told me he had like 3 jobs to do, and so I was like, okay, that's fine. He told me he'd give me some money for those. I never saw that. And then it just sort of kept happening, and he would keep taking my car. I mean, I told him for 3 days it'd be fine. He just sort of the car. I'd wake up in the morning, and the car would be gone. He'd be out doing some sort of job. I got God knows what. And then one day, Your Honor, I had a date. And I come out to my car to go pick this lady up, and I come out to my car and it just stinks like rotting fish. And I had no idea where that came from, and I had already canceled on this date once, so I had to go and pick her up. And she was disgusted. It was just a mess, Your Honor. And then I talked to Andrew about it, and he said that he had in fact taken a job where he had to deliver some frozen fish from one side of town to the other. Real bad traffic that day. He just zoned out and decided that he was going to do it later. So he goes off and does, I have no idea what. And then the fish just sits in my car for like 4 or 5 hours, and there's just fish juice all over the back seat of my car now. And then also there was some, he backed into something, the bumper's all messed up, there's some scratches all over it. He managed to get a big gouge in the roof.
Sir, tell me about this. Give me whatever background you want, but I want you to get to that too.
Right, okay.
Quick, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I'll jump back a little bit. I've known Matthew here since '99, as he said. And yeah, I am appreciative, I hope I've shown it in the past, that teaching me the skill and the trade of performing and motivational speaking and just having a good presence. And most importantly, following my own sort of career, my own destiny to not necessarily go to college and then rack up a bunch of debt and then roll the dice on if I'll make it into the job market or
You got a skill.
Yeah, a little bit. And what I did was we worked out a deal with Matt where he said, please borrow the car, but I want something in return. I gave you some, did I not? I gave you like a few $100s. Like if I made $100, I give him half. If I made $80, give him half. And
I never got no half of nothing, sir. It might be 20 bucks, but then I got to spend it all on the gas he used.
And that's probably what he owed you.
I'm sure.
Do you borrow money from him all the time?
I mean, occasionally, yeah. And
That means all the time.
So I did post onto Craigslist the ride share tab. You say, hey, I have a vehicle, which I did at the time after I made the post. That's around the time my car took a and I was like, had to appeal to Matthew's better nature and borrow his vehicle. And then the fish.
Tell us about that.
Uh,
That's what he's suing you about, the damage caused by the fish. I'm sure you could not get it out of the car and it ruined your interior.
Yeah, it needs a whole new upholstery.
Right.
And he did buy me a bottle of Febreze, but that's as far as it went.
Go ahead, tell me about that, sir.
So I picked up, I don't remember the guy's name, but I did pick up a box of frozen fish. I wanted to get it to the place I wanted to go with it as soon as possible, but like I said, there was some distractions and I was
What distractions? No, you didn't say. What distractions?
If I'm being 100% truthful, I went and had a happy hour beverage and
Balling out
right.
in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah. And so I cleaned it up as best I could. I mean, sop it up.
You didn't know that if you left it there that it might cause that type of damage if you go to the bar for hours? That would be the result?
I mean, I wasn't that long. I tried to slam the drinks and then go. Just real quick in and out. But yeah, it was hot. So yeah, that ended up being a whole thing, and he hasn't really let that go.
You have anything, sir, to
Yes, sir, I
show
have
me
an
the
estimate for the
damages,
damage on
and
it.
why don't you think you should pay?
Well, because, Your Honor, sir, I think I'm not totally irresponsible with money. I mean, I am not in the best way.
It's the only thing you can't juggle.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead.
Balancing the checkbook is a little harder. And so, what was the question? Go again. Sorry. I got distracted.
What is your defense for the damage you caused?
I don't think I should have to pay because we were essentially business partners in this.
What does that mean, essentially?
It means like,
Did you have an agreement?
no, no.
Any type.
A light verbal agreement.
What is a light verbal agreement?
Hey, Matt, can I borrow your car to do this thing? I'll give you some of my money I make. And he was, gracious enough to let me do it a few times in a row until he said I couldn't anymore.
Pitiful, man. You come across as pitiful. Pay him the money. You still with the same outfit in terms of juggling?
Yes,
You
exactly.
better be glad that he's a good man now.
I mean, he's not the greatest man. He's very hard to live with as far as he's messy. I got one bit of dirt. All right, I saw him one time get some dog Vicodin and try and sell that to people because it's easier to get.
Your Honor, that's a lie.
Go ahead, keep on.
Sir, I have...
$4,303 is your judgment.
Thanks, sir. AJ, I've been friends with you for years. I love you like an uncle. This is just business, and I just need to get this taken care of because it's been dragging out and dragging out and dragging out, and I'm really glad the judge thought you were ridiculous too because now we can just get this whole thing settled and behind us.
I figure that we could have solved this with a couple of pine tree air fresheners, and maybe.
No, it would just smell like pine trees and fish in that
I don't know
car.
if we can. I don't know if we can be friends always.